The Cave and Cliffs update has been announced by Mojang and it's really exciting. I'm going to take a deep dive into what's going to be potentially the most long awaited update in Minecraft history. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night and welcome to a very special episode from me, Avomance. Mojang have announced Minecraft 1.17 Cave and Cliffs update and everybody, and I mean everybody, is proper excited about it. Now I know it was about a week ago at Minecon that they announced this. Lady Agnes was there and told us all about what was going on. And it's taken me a week to digest and think and know a little bit more about what's going. And I want to focus in on a number of the cave elements that are really, really exciting. And maybe one thing that's perhaps a little bit less exciting. I'm going to cut this up into 4 different pieces. Biomes, blocks, mobs and mechanics. BB, MM, because I think it all tends to lend itself into those 4 groups. So let's go over those right now. First up, let's take a look at biomes. Up till now, biomes have gone all the way from y=1 right up to build limit. It's all the same biome no matter what part of the chunk you are in. Now, that's probably not going to be the case because there will be biomes under the ground with a different biome over the ground. First, I want to talk about the lush caves. As you walk around the overworld, you're going to find a brand new tree called the azalea tree, which looks very much like an oak tree variant, but it's got purple flowers. At the base of the azalea tree, you will find a hole, and that hole will have a vine that flows all the way down into the lush caves. But notice there's a few potentially new blocks that we're going to talk about very, very soon. There's so much to look at. We've got glow berries, which are billed as being a bit of a food. However, I wonder if they'll be as bad a food as normal berries are. Just don't know, but they do look fantastic. Grass-like blocks and what looks like a moss-like carpet leads you to water pools with plants called Dripleaf Plants that we're going to talk about later on that have got some awesome properties. There are also these spore blossom plants which look pretty, but I've just got a bad feeling about them. They might be quite scary and they might be the only scary thing in the lush caves. They remind me way too much of a man-eating plant. We should probably be very careful. Another brand new underground biome is the Dripstone cave, which is going to come in small and large and potentially even gigantic variants, and they look spectacular. Now, the structure of these stalactites and stalagmites is already looking fantastic, but it has been suggested that these are going to get polished up a little bit more, so they're going to look even better than they already do. And you'll notice at the top, there's what looks like a new block. It looks a little bit basalty, but not quite. Now, generally speaking, Mojang don't put any texture packs when they do these kind of releases. So that is what it will look like in default. It definitely looks like a brand new block to me. One thing about these stalactites and stalagmites is that they are sharp. If you fall on one, like this poor zombie, that is going to do you damage and potentially quite a lot of damage. It's not quite clear how much damage you'll take, and I imagine the higher you fall from them, the more damage it's going to give, but I bet it gives you more damage than landing on a flat surface. Also, if the block at the top of the stalactite is disturbed, that is going to fall down as well. And it looks like you can collect that stalactite, that dripstone, and put it elsewhere, which is actually really useful because they are going to be a source of water. If you have them hanging from the ceiling, they will drip water into a cauldron. So it is another opportunity to get yourself an infinite water source that isn't a 1x1 block. I think to build a base in one of these caves could look fantastic. Now, before we talk about another specific biome, I do want to talk about the way they've changed the general cave generation. We are still going to have the old style caves where they're quite small and twisty-turny, but they're going to be in concert with massive, huge, cathedral-like caves that are joined together potentially by underground lakes or small tunnels. It's going to be a really exciting way to explore, and I can definitely see myself going underground far more. It's going to be way more interesting. However, these underground lakes are going to be very, very dangerous, so don't drown, even though there are clearly ores waiting for you at the bottom for you to come and collect. This underground water is generated like the seas and the rivers up on top, so they're not like random water blocks that just spew out a little bit of water that you can block off. They're actually generally made to be there, and as a result they make amazing river rapids that go down huge waterfalls. So if you take a boat, you can traverse across these big lakes in these big caves, go down huge waterfalls with big drops To get down to the very low Y levels almost instantly, it could potentially be the fastest way of getting down to low Y levels that exists in the game. This is a far more realistic way to represent underground structures. If you've ever walked through some real world caves, it really does look the way that Mojang have made these. It is going to give some amazing underground cave building opportunities where normally you would have to dig out a massive hole to be able to do something worthwhile. I am genuinely very excited about this one. Some of these new cave biomes are going to be really rare but hold fantastic treasures. The Amethyst Geode is a small but very rare biome with a unique block that can't be mined out, so you can't physically pick it up and take it to your base. You've got to come to the Amethyst Geode biome to be able to use it. But it grows crystals that you can cut out, and then you can use them for crafting some really fabulous items that I'll mention later. These caves also, they kind of tinkle as you walk through them, which gives them a really increased atmosphere. And I wonder whether or not there might be some really nice kind of fairy cave opportunities to be able to build in here. A real fantasy template for you. The Deep Dark is maybe the scariest of all the new underground biomes, but it could be the one that holds the best treasures out of all of them. It's home to some really new, interesting looking blocks, but this one looks like a cross between cobblestone and stone brick, and I'm not entirely sure what it's going to be called, not a clue, but it definitely looks like a new block. Again, Mojang don't put texture packs in these things generally, so it got to be something different. It's also home to the new sculk blocks. Now these sculk blocks are vibration detectors, and that is hugely exciting for Redstoners, and I'll talk about that in a moment. However, it is also the home to something big, fast, strong and scary that really, really wants to eat your face, even though it can't see your face, and that's the Warden. We're going to talk about that when we talk about mobs. I cannot wait till I talk to you about this fella. Now, I would classify myself as a bit of a builder, so new building blocks are possibly one of the most exciting things that I can come across in Minecraft. Let's look at the new building blocks that we have got up to offer so far in Minecraft 1.17. We've walked through the biomes now and we've seen a lot of new blocks, some were obvious and others maybe not so much. Under that azalea tree was a block that looks like dirt, but it's just a little bit different looking. It's actually azalea root and it appears to be a dirt variant, and perhaps it's something that we can use for new pathway blocks to combine with coarse dirt and path blocks. It could look fantastic. In the lush caves alone, it seems we've got moss carpets, new plants like the glowberries, which by the way I think look amazing and do give off light, we just don't know quite how much yet. Dripleaf plants, which we're going to talk about later, they look fab, and those spore blossoms as well, which do look great. I'm just a little bit nervous of them. Decoration just got a whole lot more complicated, but significantly more exciting. We've got what appears to be a few new stone variants perhaps. In the Deep Dark there is that cobblestone, stone brick variant hybrid, all over the place that was, and obviously there's the new sculpt blocks and the detectors too, and we'll talk about them later. Also in the lush caves there was what looks like those big grass blocks. Now yeah, I appreciate they look a little bit like Optifine grass, but I suspect that's not the case. I bet they're like a moss block, and that's quite exciting. That could give us some great building opportunities. There's also what appear to be a little bit like clay, but maybe not clay. Who knows? Watch this space. Down in the Deep Dark, they've also added what appear to be candles in two colours, black and white. They look a bit like a corrupted sea pickle. Now I wonder if they're going to be craftable, maybe they'll be farmable, although they're not living like a sea pickle, so perhaps not. Maybe you can just collect them, and the only way is they generate in those caves, which would make them actually really pretty rare. But what a fantastic decorative block to use in a chandelier or windows in old spooky houses. And then we have got a new ore, which can generate in a vein or in a few blocks. It's copper. And it is an active ore, and by active ore what I mean is when you dig it out and you smelt it, you get your copper blocks. It actually changes over time. In real life, copper changes from orange to green as it oxidizes. The copper oxide is green, And as a result, this is a superb attention to detail. You can have a house that's brand new and it's got an orange roof, and over time that roof is going to change to a little bit more green, until a really old house has got a completely green roof. I love that idea. And it also means that it could work beautifully with prismarine blocks, twisted wood variants and that kind of thing too, but only after a little while. That's a great twist. With copper as well, you can also make a lightning rod. Now, I like this idea for a number of different reasons. One, I like to use wooden roofs, and as a result, if we put a lightning rod on top of the roof, it's not going to get hit by lightning. The lightning is going to hit the rod, not the roof, which is going to stop your house from burning down. Now, I see that as a big advantage. And also, is it a really good opportunity for something like a charged creeper farm? Get one of these rods into a normal creeper farm, so all the creepers are within a few blocks of that rod. Down comes the lightning, bang, loads of charged creepers. What a fantastic opportunity. You could also deliberately change your villagers into witches by the same method, although I'm not quite sure why you would want to do that. Now, in the Minecraft 1.16 update, we did get a lot of new mobs, all of them in the nether, including this piglin here, look, bless him, not interested in me because I'm wearing gold. But in 1.17, we've only got a couple of new mobs, or at least only got a couple of new mobs at the moment. But oh my goodness, they are awesome. Let's check them out. Now, let's start off with the biggest, baddest, meanest mob that I think I've ever seen that is not a boss mob in the entirety of Minecraft. It's the Warden. This guy lives in the deep, deep dark. He is scary and he's completely blind. He finds you and anything else for that matter using sound waves. And as a result, the combination of those skulk detectors really come well in with the Warden. It's like a tool for him. But oh my goodness, this fella, don't take him on unless you are ready. He might look like some kind of big cute knight waiting to protect you from a dragon, but he's not. That thing in his belly is a mouth and he wants to eat your face with it. He is fast. He is so quick. If you run away from him, he will be right behind you. He will be able to keep up and he can hit you so blooming hard. If you're wearing full netherite armor without any enchantments on, this guy with one hit is going to take away 6.5 hearts. That is a 2-hitter with full netherite armor. That's just mental. And at the other end of the scale, if you wander around these lush caves and you go under the water, you could find a new little friend. It's the axolotl. Now, the axolotl in real life, it's like a small salamander-like lizard with massive gills on the outside and a smile. And they've really tried to keep that in Minecraft as well. It looks fantastic. You can collect these fellas in a bucket. Collect a few of them in a few buckets and you can use them as your own personal guard for any underwater adventures you might want to go on. Take them with you if you want to take on some guardians. If you want to take on an ocean monument, then these axolotls will actually help you loads. Pop them out in the water and they will fly around you and attack the guardians, attack the elder guardians, attack any drown that might be there. And if they get hurt, they play dead. And as a result of playing dead, they don't get attacked. Then they heal up a little bit and they jump in the fight again. They're absolutely insane, these things. They're sneaky. And there is the possibility that they might even be able to heal you. Taking on ocean monuments is never going to be the same again. Finally, in section 4, let's have a bit of a dip into the new mechanics that are available in Minecraft 1.17. These are actually really exciting. First up, Mojang have decided to put just a little bit of lore into Minecraft, a little more than there already is anyway, by bringing in archaeological sites. Now, these archaeological sites can be explored using a brand new tool called a brush, and you can brush off some of the softer blocks that you come across in Minecraft, like gravel and dirt and things like that. And inside these, you may not, but you may find some treasures. Now, those treasures could be emerald blocks or even diamond blocks, but do be careful, because if you don't do it carefully, those blocks are lost forever. But you can also get some artifacts as well that can give you just a little bit of a clue as to the history of Minecraft. You can put some of these artifacts onto clay pots, and once you've got the picture around that clay pot that you want, you can fire them by setting fire underneath them, and they will turn from a grey colour into an orange colour and set, and that picture there will be set forever. It's actually really nice to create your own decorative block because you can orientate these things in any way you want, so as each one could potentially be unique. I like the idea of this. It's got lots of possibilities. Now, I mentioned in the lush caves the Dripleaf Plants. Now, these Dripleaf Plants aren't just plants. They have got another application, which I find really very interesting. And you will too, especially if you're a parkour enthusiast, because these plants will grow and you can jump on them a bit like a moving platform. But if you stand on them for far too long, by far too long, I mean only a few seconds, they turn and they basically drip you off. They flatten down like a trap door that opens all on its own. And then after a few seconds will reset themselves. So they're the perfect opportunity for you to create yourself a very difficult entrance into a house that perhaps a zombie or another mob can't get into, or a parkour course for your friends, or something else. Really great application for these. Earlier on we mentioned copper, and if you combine copper with the crystals that you get in the amethyst geodes, you can make yourself a telescope. Now, I'm kind of on the fence with this one. It's a great system, but I don't see it as being particularly different with Optifine Zoom, which you can get just by pressing the C key, or more likely with Logic Zoom, which you can get off of my mate Logical Geek Boy, which is like Optifine Zoom but far more logical. I'm not sure the telescope lends anything more than that, but actually it's a nice feature and it's a nice new block. Let's talk about what might be revolutionising redstone in forever. How would you like some truly wireless redstone? And by that, I don't mean shooting an arrow that activates the target block. That's not really wireless redstone. I'm talking about something that does not need any wires at all and could be thrown by a lever or some other action block. This is what these skulk detectors will do. They will detect the vibration of a moving block or maybe footsteps or something like that and fire a redstone signal out the back. I'm not sure what the range of these are. It's probably not going to be more than 5 or 6 blocks, but potentially this could be a solution to all kinds of problems. That redstone can fire pistons, doors, lights, whatever it is you'd like it to fire. You could link these up so you could have a chain of wireless redstone contraptions that could go quite some distance. You can even make this directional because wool blocks, wool is quite a good padding. You think cotton wool, you use that as a padding. Wool blocks will dampen any vibration that will go to the sculpt block. So as a result, if you surround the sculpt block with wool in all but one direction, it will only detect vibration from that direction. This means that you could manipulate that to make some quite complex redstone machines. Now, I'm not that great at redstone. I know it a little bit. I'm really keen to play, but I know there are some people out there that are going to turn this into something insane. Now, one thing that happens when you go adventuring in Minecraft is you get properly gammed up with junk, don't you? So if I look at my inventory here, I've got so much rubbish all over the place that it means I can't actually collect anything else and I have to start dropping my cornflowers or my seeds. But what if I don't want to do that? Mojang have really come up with a great idea. What they have created is the bundle, and the concept behind the bundle is actually genuinely really exciting. However, I don't think I like the name bundle. I'd much rather go with sack or bag or something along those lines, because that's exactly what it looks like. Even a purse would be better than a bundle. But what you can do with this is you can bring more than one block stack into the bundle. I'm not sure how you'll craft these things. I imagine it probably involve leather and string and probably something a little bit more significant as well, because it is seriously OP, this thing. You can get loads of these bundles, put loads of stuff in and organise your inventory very much in the same way as you would a shulker. Now, as you know, a shulker box is actually more of an end game thing, because you have to go to the end, defeat the dragon, kill shulkers to be able to get shulker boxes and get their convenience. So having this bundle item has got to be a little bit easier than just a little bit of string and a few pieces of leather. It is going to be way too OP. That said, however, the items in the bundle are not going to be instantly accessible. You have to take them out of the bundle to be able to use them. So it does mean that your hotbar management is still going to need to be on point, because you can't just have a load of bundles and withdraw a million different items. I also wonder if you can put bundles inside of bundles. I'm hoping you can't, because that would give us infinite inventory and that just doesn't feel quite right. However, I do think it is absolute genius, and hopefully genius a little bit earlier than the end. Now, I did say at the start that there was one thing that I thought was a little bit rubbish about the Minecraft 1.17 update as it has been announced so far. We have got some superb new biomes. We've got great new blocks. We've got some frightening and some really cute new mobs. And we've got some brilliant new mechanics. However, we are not expecting to be able to play this new update until the summer of 2021. Yep, that is what, 10 months away. How are we going to last without these brand new stuffs for 10 months? And yeah, okay, they're going to be doing pre-releases and all that kind of stuff. There'll be snapshots, but come on, 10 months. This is like the ultimate cruel tease Mojang have ever put on any Minecraft player. There has not been an update teased with such a long time before it actually gets released. It's frightening. Now, maybe, just maybe, they're going to surprise us. But I've got to be honest, I'm not sure they will. I do think the snapshots could start coming up around about March time of 2021, which would be great because we can start playing them. And I do know that they're going to be putting a lot of time and effort into getting our ideas and expanding on the ideas they've already presented. So maybe, just maybe, I need to stop being grumpy and get a little bit more patient because it'll be worth the wait. Let me know in the comments below how excited you are for this Minecraft 1.17 update. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Possibly the best update we have had for a very, very long time. Do let me know in the comments and do #update so as I can find them dead easy. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you enjoyed them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.